Happy Monday, December 1st, 2025. We've got some really cool stuff to talk about today in comic book news. We've got a highly anticipated Batman villain finally coming to the Absolute Universe, which I'm very excited for. We've got a really cool crossover between Marvel and DC and two of their most powerful sorcerers. The Hulk smashes everything and more. Okay, first off, let's talk about this. One of the most anticipated DC characters of all time confirmed to join the Absolute Universe. All right, I know this goes without saying, so I'm not going to harp on it too long, but obviously Absolute Batman has been one of the best comic books that's currently coming out. One of the best comic books of 2025. In recent memory, it's the best comic book that I've read. All right, so who is this character that is coming to the Absolute Universe? Let's see. That's right, it's Deathstroke. This is going to be awesome. I cannot wait to see what the absolute version of Deathstroke looks like. I mean, if you look at Absolute Batman, Absolute Wonder Woman, Absolute Superman, it's all a fresh take on the character, and especially Absolute Batman. Absolute Batman with the spikes and with the axe and everything, and this ridiculous bat symbol on his chest and all that stuff, and he has like the long talons that he can use, right, like to like hook things and everything, like all the extra little things that Scott Snyder gave Absolute Batman. I hope he gives the same treatment for Deathstroke, because if he does, the design of this character is going to be absolutely amazing. Per industry fan and news account Screen Time on X, Absolute Batman writer Scott Snyder recently confirmed the upcoming introduction of one of the deadliest characters of all time. In April, readers will be able to get their hands on the debut of the next Deathstroke in the pages of Absolute Batman 19. So that's really exciting. There's no confirmed release date on it yet, but who is Deathstroke in DC Comics? Remember, Deathstroke first appeared in the pages of the New Teen Titans, the best Teen Titans run of all time, by Marv Wolfman and George Perez. An absolutely all-star team, especially George Perez. I've got a George Perez signature on a comic behind me. One of my favorite artists of all time. So this is a really cool character. The actual name of Deathstroke is Slade Wilson, and he's considered to be one of the best, if not the best, assassin of all time. So due to a military experiment, Deathstroke actually does have enhanced powers, because of course it's always some kind of military experiment. And you can kind of look at him as a Captain America, but as an assassin. Like, that's basically his power set, right? It's like enhanced strength, reflexes, intelligence, and so on. And then when you look at his abilities include survival and just driving and flying planes and disguises and of course acrobatics and martial arts and weapons. So he's the total package. If you had to create a perfect assassin, it's Deathstroke. Snyder also touched on the intended legacy of the Absolute Universe, stating, "I hope it reminds people that these characters are meant to be renewed. They're meant to be burned down and put together. Batman weaponizes his trauma to make the world better, and that's how he wins." So yeah, I'm just really excited for this. Deathstroke is a fan favorite DC villain. I think if you ask people who their favorite DC villain was, a lot of people would say Deathstroke. So I'm interested to see what Scott Snyder does with it in the Absolute Universe. All right, next let's talk about Hulk smashing everything, because that's what the Hulk does. That is the best version of the Hulk, okay? Forget this Professor Hulk that we have in the MCU. I want the return of the Savage Hulk, which is what we mostly get in the comics. So what we have is a new comic book coming out called Hulk Smash Everything. Just listen to that title. It's amazing. I have a feeling this is going to be something like Deadpool Kills the Marvel Universe or something like that, where it's like the Hulk going against a different hero or villain every issue. But let's see what this article says. So Ryan North is now launching a brand new miniseries called Hulk Smash Everything, where Hulk takes on, everyone. So right here we have an exclusive preview of the first issue. All right, let's take a look here. Now, I'm not going to go into the context of these panels, but clearly what we have here is the Sanctum Sanctorum with Doctor Strange, and there's the Hulk. The art looks great. We've got Wong right here in the bottom right corner, and of course Doctor Strange protecting himself with some kind of barrier. Who wins this battle? I mean, I have a feeling it's going to be the Hulk, because there's going to be more issues of this, right? But is Doctor Strange held back by the fact that he's trying not to unalive the Hulk? Couldn't he kind of slice the Hulk into pieces using that portal technique that Wong uses in the MCU against one of Thanos's goons or whatever, where he closes the portal on his arm? But and then that said, though, Hulk has the best healing factor in comics, or one of the best. I mean, I think Hulk's healing factor may be better than Deadpool and Wolverine's. Now, I know that might be crazy saying that, but I mean, if you've read Immortal Hulk, the Hulk can regenerate from almost nothing and fairly quickly too. So I'm just going to say it. I give this one to the Hulk for sure, beating Doctor Strange. But who do you think can stand up to the Hulk in the Marvel Universe? Is there anyone that can at least fight the Hulk to a standstill? I guess you have the Sentry. I mean, I'm just thinking of characters that are pretty strong. I guess Scarlet Witch, right, would be one that I would think that the Scarlet Witch would have one of the better chances to take on the Hulk. However, I mean, does the Hulk have any kind of immunity to magic? Is the Hulk too fast for her? I don't know. But I guess off the top of my head, the Scarlet Witch is the one that comes to my mind that I think, if I had to pick a team to go after the Hulk, I'd probably want her. It's kind of like how Superman has a weakness to magic. It's because, like, if it's something physical, the Hulk is always going to come out on top. So you kind of need something like metaphysical. You kind of need something supernatural. So, by the way, this cover is actually dope. This is a dope cover. So yeah, let me know if you're going to be picking this one up. I'm interested. I think it's going to be a fun read. I think this is a good popcorn comic, and let me know if you think there's a character in Marvel who you think Hulk doesn't smash. That sounded weird. Okay, next, the crossovers are still going. And you know what? Marvel, DC, keep them going. I love them. I cannot get enough of them. Keep crossing over with different IPs, especially Marvel and DC. So this latest one, this is a little bit of a spoiler, but if you read, Batman Deadpool, you'll know that we are going to have a crossover between Doctor Strange and John Constantine. This is awesome. Doctor Strange is such a cool character, but for me, the character I'm really excited to see here is Constantine. He's one of my favorite DC characters of all time. Here we go. We have some images from the comic. Look at this. First of all, the art is really unique. I always love unique art. And then we've got, Constantine lighting up a cigarette and walking into the Sanctum Sanctorum with Doctor Strange. Can it get any better than that? And he's just picking things up like, what's this? What's that? Blah, 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 in his classic Constantine fashion. And he's kind of declared himself as the Sorcerer Supreme of the DC Earth. If I had to say one person was Sorcerer Supreme, I guess I would choose Constantine. I don't know, maybe Zatanna, but he's Constantine, so he's going to say it's him. A Magician Walks into a Universe by James Tynion IV, Joshua Williamson, Scott Snyder, Hayden Sherman, Mike Spicer, and Frank Kvetkovic, no idea how you say that, from the pages of Batman and Deadpool #1, brings readers to Doctor Strange's Sanctum Sanctorum, where an unwanted visitor has made his way inside despite all the mystical defenses. As it turns out, this intruder is none other than John Constantine, who is more than happy to proclaim himself his own reality's Sorcerer Supreme if it helps smooth things over with Doctor Strange. Can we take a step back for a second? James Tynion, Joshua Williamson, and Scott Snyder. And then, another set of really great creators here as well. But those three, writers, what an all-star lineup. This is going to be amazing. I'm super excited for this. John Constantine was first created by Alan Moore. And the thing about Constantine, which I've always loved, is he kind of has a similar, let's call it quality as Batman, or maybe even you could call it plot armor, where he's always one step ahead. Batman always has a contingency plan for everything. Constantine has already thought through all the possibilities as well and is prepared, that's kind of what he does. And he won't really give you an idea of what his real true intentions are until the last moment when they're revealed, and he's already taken advantage of you. So in that sense, he's kind of like a genius as well as a sorcerer. This is a really cool matchup. I cannot wait to read this comic and see what clever things these really great writers do with these two iconic characters. Let me know if you're excited for this one as well. Okay, so we've got a new era starting for the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. We saw an amazing 12-issue run piloted by Jason Aaron, who's, been a really great writer, and it sold really well. I know that. I haven't read all of Jason Aaron's run of Ninja Turtles. I know I haven't read every single comic book. It's crazy. This Ninja Turtles run has been absolutely amazing from the start. This IDW Ninja Turtles, this is one of my favorite all-time comic books. I get nostalgic for the Ninja Turtles, especially because I was a kid in the 90s, in that 90s movie with the nightmare fuel Ninja Turtle costumes that they wore, and it made me a Ninja Turtles fan from a young age. So if you are interested in Ninja Turtles, I really recommend picking up these IDW collections of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles and reading it. from the start, even going long before Jason Aaron's run. It's a retelling and modernization of the classic Ninja Turtles story. So you had the classic original Ninja Turtles run by Eastman and Laird, and that went for a certain amount of time and then it ended. And then IDW kind of, like I said, revamped the whole series. You know, in that modernization, they brought in a lot of really great writers and artists and story concepts that weren't there before. And they also made this kind of thing where like the Ninja Turtles are actually like a reincarnation of actual people. And so is Splinter. It's four brothers and their father, and they're reincarnated from actual people in ancient Japan. So I thought that was a nice touch on the story. It kind of gives more of a backstory as to why they take on these roles of children and father when they become these, you know, mutant creatures, and why the, you know, Master Splinter is such a great martial artist, because he was a real like samurai in Japan. All right, it's a major turning point in the world of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, as Jason Aaron, the writer who redefined the Turtles with a best-selling 12-issue run on the book, has left the series and is being replaced by award-winning writer Gene Luen Yang. And it's not very often that you lose a Best Writer Eisner Award winner on your series and have him replaced by a two-time Best Writer Eisner Award winner. So that's pretty awesome. Like I said, I've always loved it, but I think doing like a new #1 and having Jason Aaron come in to take it over was a big selling point of, you know, this new era of Ninja Turtles. And I'm very excited to see what this writer can do with the Ninja Turtles. So here we have a exclusive preview of the first few pages of the Ninja Turtles, and I don't want to read any of the panels except for the fact that we have Michelangelo right here saying "Cowabunga." Heck yeah, I'm all for it. This looks great. The art looks great. The writer is going to do an absolutely great job. I think Ninja Turtles is a totally underrated comic that should be on everybody's radar. And yeah, let me know if you're reading this, or if you plan to, or if you're excited about this new era of Ninja Turtles coming out soon. All right, now let's quickly take a look at the new comic books coming out December 3rd, 2025. That's this Wednesday. We've got Batman #4. This has been a great beginning to a new Batman run. Writer Matt Fraction and artist Jorge Jimenez have been doing an absolutely great job. We're only 4 issues in, so we'll have to see where this goes, but I've read the first couple issues and they're good. Let me know if you're reading that and what you think. Absolute Green Lantern. I haven't started reading this yet. I will, because I want to read all the Absolute titles, and I think it does look cool. Even the logo and this cover looks cool, but I don't know that much about it yet, so let me know if you're reading this. Ultimate X-Men. I'm not reading the Ultimate Universe right now, but I would love to hear some feedback on from people that are, you know, is the Ultimate Universe over at Marvel, is it as good as last time? Is it better? Is it worse? Let me know. Okay, we got DCKO's Night Fight. KO event still going strong. Let's read it. It's DCKO. It's been pretty good so far, I think. So yeah, definitely going to pick that one up. We've got Fantastic Four, Batgirl, and I really like this version of Batgirl. I really like Cassandra Cain in this role, and I also like how her costume kind of covers her mouth as well, because she doesn't speak much. So I am interested to hear if you are reading Batgirl, like, you know, if it's a good comic and would you recommend it. Something is Unaliving the Children is still going, and I am excited for it. It's on issue 45. I could never have guessed that it would be going this long when it first came out. James Tynion, I always say this, is like the writer who everything he touches turns to gold. And there's a reason it's going for so long, and that it's been such a highly revered comic. It's good. Poison Ivy, I think I talked about this in one of my previous weeks. I love this character. One of my favorite Batman villains. I have her first appearance right here. There you go. The art looks amazing. Definitely want to get caught up on that series and see where that's going. Another KO tie-in, Superman versus Captain Atom. Who's winning this fight, guys? I gotta say Superman, but I don't know that much about Captain Atom's power set. I just don't think he has the raw power to go up against Superman, though. But look at this cover, though. This is amazing. We have Ultimate Universe #1, 2 years in. That definitely looks interesting. Maybe that'll be a good jumping on point for me if I do want to start reading the Ultimate Universe, you know? JSA being written by Jeff Lemire, I think is definitely interesting. He's a really great writer. We've got Amazing X-Men and Adventures of Superman. This is very interesting. Legacy of Vader, showing Darth Vader's mask going on Kylo Ren. So it'll be interesting to see what's going on in this Star Wars comic. We've got a new Doctor Strange #1 being written by Derek Landy and being illustrated by Ivan Fioroli. I hope I'm saying that last name right. We've got Wiccan Witches Road #1. That is going to be very interesting. Wiccan is a really powerful character. I wonder how this is going to tie into what we saw in the Agatha All Along series. But you know, this is a cool concept, so interesting to see where that goes. Hulk smash everything, like I mentioned. I think that's going to be a fun popcorn comic. We've got some more stuff here. I'm not going to go into every single comic coming out this week, but you can look at what I'm scrolling past right now and kind of get an idea. All right, now let's take a look at the omnibuses coming out this week. We've got Hitman by Garth Ennis. Anything by Garth Ennis, I think, has a lot of potential. So let me know if this is a really good run that I should read. I have never read Hitman before, but I see Lobo right here, and that has me interested. Dr. Aphra. This is an awesome comic. I looked at this omnibus, the original Dr. Aphra omnibus, for so many years, and I thought, like, why are people buying this? Who is this Star Wars character that I don't care about at all? And then I got it and I read it and I was like, oh my God, she's like Indiana Jones in Star Wars. And she's awesome. This character and the concept behind her stories is so cool because you get all this deep lore of the Star Wars universe. Like, there's all these different like ancient technologies that have been left behind that this character comes across or is hunting for, or it's some kind of, you know, ancient civilization that she interacts with or whatever it is. It's so cool because it gets into like, you know, Star Wars cosmic stuff, and it's actually, you know, a really great read. So this is Star Wars Dr. Aphra Friends and Enemies omnibus. We've got some other indie stuff coming out as well. More Conan omnis. I'm never going to buy the Conan omnis. Let me know if you're reading Conan, but and if you are, I'm sure Conan is a great read, but it's just not for me. And it looks like that's it for omnibuses this week. All right, that's it for comic book news, December 1st, 2025. Let me know what you're most excited for in the comments down below. I think this is a really exciting time in the comic book industry. I think there's a lot of good comics coming out all at once, whether it be Marvel, DC, or especially indie stuff. So you can't really go wrong right now. I'm pretty sure comic book sales are up as well, which is always a good thing. And even though the cinematic universes are not so certain, I'm happy to see comic books are going so strong and a lot of new collectors. I see a lot of younger creators than me getting into comics, which is really great because, you know, I'm in my 30s and like I would say most comic readers for a long time were my age or older, and to see new people coming into it at a younger age and making content about it and buying comic books off the shelf is such a great thing to see. So I think the comic book industry is in a great place. Leave a comment and let me know if there's anything I missed in this week's comic book news. And as always, thank you so much for watching, and please don't forget to like and subscribe.